All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Compa Talk. This is actually a special episode because we're doing Prem predictions. It's a new season, I guess we can call it. Every single new footballing year is a new season, but we are making this a special episode. So if this goes well, we might pull in some more predictions, some more shows. Obviously, we got a couple new guests on the show with us today. Honda's missing; he has some things to do today, but that's cool. So we have a whole new cast with us today. I'm gonna introduce my boy Futlos first. He's new to the scene. He just started streaming a couple months ago, actually this month. So if you want to introduce yourself.
What up? I'm Futlos. I always wanted to be a part of John's, streaming or whatever he does. I'm a big fan of John. I'm a big fan of soccer or football, as you call it. I just like talking, so I want to give my point of views to whatever John has to ask us. And yeah, I started streaming and YouTube not even a month ago. I'm still pretty fresh, still learning the ropes, but I'm excited to be here.
All right, and obviously everyone's links will be down below in the description and everything. Where everyone's gonna start posting stuff from all this episode, so you'll see it everywhere. And then next, I got my boy Jose. Jose, you want to introduce yourself?
All right, what up, guys? I'm Jose. I don't really stream. I don't really stream, but I like doing this type of stuff for fun. I think it's cool. Having different opinions. I mean, I think it's kind of can be like creative, I guess.
Yeah, you got a
And
decent Twitter following though. You're on
it's
Twitter all the
I mean,
time.
it's all right, but I don't. It's not like I'm a content creator or anything like that. But
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm a big Chelsea fan. I'm big. Been following them for a long time now, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
And obviously over to my boy Connor. A lot of you guys know him already from previous episodes. Connor, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I decided to rock with the Liverpool today because this is like my
Disgraceful.
first Prem jersey. But I do like Crystal Palace in the Premier League. If you've seen me before, it's probably because of me being an Orlando City fan. That's like my main team that I watch. But I do really like watching Premier League early mornings on weekends, and I do like giving my opinions, even though sometimes they can be quite outlandish.
All right, and with that being said, let's get right off with our relegation prediction. So I think for this year, I think that the relegation battle is going to be a little interesting, just because this year, like, there's a lot of new teams that obviously just got promoted and stuff. One of them, at least for me, was a little bit of a shocker was Ipswich. I don't know how much signings they made. I don't really think that they made much noise in the transfer window this year. But there's a couple teams, obviously we see the return of Leicester coming back up after a year down, which, I mean, realistically, if we're being honest, they should have never really been relegated. I don't know how that happened. And then Southampton came back up as well. So Southampton is one of those teams where they were kind of bouncing around with relegation the last couple of years that they were in the Prem. Now they winded up getting relegated. Now they're back after one season. So do you guys think that any of these teams will end up staying up? And if so, who will end up staying up? I'll start off with Carlos.
I'm not gonna lie, John. I'm gonna have to disagree with you, bro. I think it's plain and simple on who's gonna get relegated this next season. Money's on Ipswich. I have no idea who the heck they are, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Leicester City's out of here as well, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, Connor, but I'm gonna have to say Crystal Palace as well. I think those three teams are not gonna do well in the Prem. Even looking from last season, Crystal Palace was a mid-table team, got 10th. I'd say it's a little lucky, but that's my opinion. Again, don't come at me, Connor, but I'm sorry to tell you, but Crystal Palace is not going to do well.
Connor, I'll let you respond to that. That's a little outlandish from me. I'm not gonna
Well,
lie.
well, first of all, I think you're not giving us enough credit. We ended the season winning pretty much every single one of our games. Jean-Philippe Mateta went to the Olympics and popped off after ending the season, scoring hat tricks, scoring a lot of goals in the end of the season. One thing I will say is fair is we lost Elise, which was our best playmaker, but we still have Eze. We've retained him for now. We brought in Daishi Kamada from Lazio, which is a very good option. Them complementing Mateta, and we also bought formerly hyped up playmaker as Mylasar. I haven't heard much buzz from him too much from Marseille, but I think he'll be very good to add. And I think our midfield's phenomenal with Wharton, Doucouré, and our back line has really not been a problem. Tariq Mitchell, Munoz, Anderson, Gahey. I thought relegation to me seems like out of the picture. I was thinking more European football. Like
European football.
I don't know,
I'm saying like the range of 10 up.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
saying like we're locked for 6. No.
Yeah, I was gonna
that's
say
not at all.
I do disagree with the Crystal Palace thing, just because like I know like they lost Elise, and that's obviously a big contributor to what they were able to do attacking wise, because Crystal Palace hasn't really shown throughout the years that they were this super attacking side. The goals kind of came from Elise and from Zaha and like what they were able to do with that. Now it's kind of you have to assemble a squad that can play together well, and they can also like not just rely on one specific player to do all the creation. They need it coming from other areas too. But I think Guehi, if he does end up getting picked up by another side, that might be something that Crystal Palace fans will be concerned about. But it's not something that where I'm like thinking that they're going to get relegated. Obviously, they're getting a lot of money in now that they'll be able to use throughout the next transfer window to see if they need to plug any holes or anything like that. I think for me, I don't think Leicester gets relegated either. I think Leicester has a really good team as it is, regardless. Like I said, originally they weren't, in my opinion, I don't think that they should have been relegated in the first place. It was difficult kind of seeing them go down because they did have, I think the season prior, they had European football and they were still doing well. And then they just fell off out of nowhere. They also did lose Schmeichel that season that they got relegated. And obviously the transitional piece from going from a goalkeeper that's actually really solid to a goalkeeper that hasn't been so great, that kind of messed them up. Also, they lost a lot of the pieces in the defense that just instead of really pushing them forward, it brought them back. But relegation should have never been something that they were struggling with and contending with. But I think that now that they're back, they obviously made a lot of smart signings as they went down, able to come back up right away. But I think that's not a team for me. I think it's going to be Ipswich just because I haven't seen enough. There's not enough activity in the window for me to
not enough
really
talent there. I don't think.
Yeah, there's just not enough talent. Honestly, like it's a little bit hard. I want to say Southampton probably end up struggling again this season, probably be battling within the relegation spots. And I think honestly, it might end up being Bournemouth or Nottingham Forest, one of the two. I think.
No.
I think Bournemouth right now they have a couple pieces. They're trying to kind of do like the Brentford thing, kind of go cheap, smart investments. But I don't know if they've really done enough. I think that they're one of those teams that are always kind of lingering around the bottom anyway. And Forest kind of just they were flirting with relegation last season too. And I'm not sure if they made enough signings to really stay up. I think that their goalkeeper situation has been really like up and down ever since. I forgot who was the original goalkeeper that got hurt for them, but then they had Keylor Navas for a bit, and then they had Turner, and then Turner played bad. So there's a lot of just ups and downs with Forest. I don't know if they're going to be able to stay up this season.
I mean, honestly, to be honest, I disagree with Carlos. No, I think Crystal Palace are going to be really good this season. Seeing how they ended up last season, they were doing really good. I think Glasner is doing a really good job, especially bringing the way they're playing. I think it's really good. Obviously, yeah, they lost Elise, but even without Elise, they were playing really good football. And I think Kamada is a good replacement, not as good as him, but he's a good replacement. But I definitely see him at least finishing 10th or 9th, 7th or 6th. No, sorry, 7th, 8th or 9th, somewhere around that region. I say it's reasonable.
If we're going, go ahead. My bad.
And as for my relegations, I'd say Ipswich, Southampton, and Everton. I think Everton, they've had their ups and downs, and I don't think Dyche has it in him again to keep them up this season. So I'm gonna say they go down.
Now, John, I got a quick question for you. So you said Bournemouth is gonna be relegated. You said,
yeah.
Okay,
I said they're contending with it.
I think I'm going to have to disagree just because if you look at last season's table, I have it pulled up right here. They were 12th. Crystal Palace was 10th. Everyone's hyping up Crystal Palace, this, that. They lost their main guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't count out Bournemouth, man. I'm just saying, don't count them out.
Well, Bournemouth did too. They lost Solanke.
But
yeah, they did.
But we're
Was it
going
main
off of
striker?
we're going off of people saying, "Hey, Crystal Palace this, Crystal Palace that, they're playing good football." Yes, they lost. Yes, Bournemouth is not high contenders. I think they're a mid-table team. I haven't really watched them much, but if we're gonna go off of rankings and placings, I think Bournemouth and Crystal Palace are gonna be around the same level again this coming season.
I mean, to answer your point, it's not like Bournemouth has like bums. They do have some decent players there. The likes of Tyler Adams. They have a couple of young players like Justin Cliver. I mean, he's not that young anymore, but maybe he could provide him a spark somehow. I just don't see where the goals are coming from me. That's where my kind of worry and concern is for Bournemouth, just because they don't really have anyone that's like really proven, and also like in the Prem, it's very hard to bring in strikers. We've seen a lot of teams bring in different strikers that have been proven in other leagues and just haven't been able to do it in the Prem. They bought Unal, which I mean in La Liga he did fantastic. I think he was playing. Was it La Liga? I think so. But he was playing pretty decent. He's not someone that I think that is gonna turn this team around. And obviously, just it's not something where I feel like they're gonna be able to really do much in terms of attacking. But I could be wrong. They could prove me wrong. But yeah, I don't disagree with the Everton take. I think Everton are one of those teams that have struggled to really get things going, but it's more of a lack because they just can't spend right now.
Yeah.
They just don't have money to really do much. I think they really messed up by not letting go of their center back and letting him join United, because they were going to get a pretty decent fee. They were stuck on that. They obviously United decided to go elsewhere. I honestly think we upgraded in that sense, but I think that we're gonna be able to do better with the signings that we got. But I don't think Everton will have enough depth in that squad to actually be able to survive another battle. And I think that mentally, when you're constantly trying to fight relegations every single year, it takes a toll on those players, and a lot of them have been within the club for a couple of years now, and they've obviously been struggling for a while. So without the points deductions, Everton would have done a lot better last season. But I think that as the season will kick on, we'll kind of see what Everton has to really show for themselves. So anyone want to add anything else?
I mean, I think I've heard somewhere that Everton also might get another point deduction, so that could also be a contributing factor.
Yeah, so that could be the nail that puts them away. Obviously, with all these points deductions, there's rumors that a lot of clubs are going to get points deductions. Who knows? Man City might get relegated by the time that the trial comes up and everything comes back out. Man City might be the ones that are going off the table, and we're looking a lot different. So, but yeah,
I don't think that'll happen. They bring the most income into the Premier League.
Huh?
I said Man City brings the most income into the Premier.
That's cap, bro. That's United. Anyway,
I don't know about that, but
anyway, I think that with those allegations and everything that's going on with the trial, I wouldn't be surprised if City end up taking a big hit points wise, and we'll even see what ends up happening with them. Who knows? But with that being said,
who knows when the trials are going to be done?
They said that it was gonna start in was it
next summer?
January? No, it was January. They were going to do it. They were going to do it in November, and then they switched it to January. So it got pushed back to. So who knows? Maybe it could be one of those trials where it just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. But hopefully that gets resolved soon, because that is a big. The allegations that are being put against City are huge, and if that's the case, then there's a lot of. Yeah, there's a lot of people that, at least a lot of clubs.
That's okay. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't.
Yeah, but there's a lot of clubs out there that are going to be, they're going to feel a little bit hard done by, if they don't get, some sort of repercussions or something. Yeah. All right, but with that being said, let's move on to the team that'll shock the Premier League this season. Honestly, there's a lot of clubs that could, and by shock I don't mean like they're gonna get top four, but a team that will do a lot better than what they expected. Connor, I'll start with you.
I don't know. I'm kind of heaven sent against Brighton. I think Brighton's gonna suck. Like, I really do. Like, something inside of me thinks Brighton is just gonna be terrible. Like, they just haven't impressed me, like, at all. And
they're doing their typical signings of bringing in young players from obscure like teams and trying to grow them and you know, like finding the gems. But I think you can only really do that so much. They've been fortunate enough that they've been able to do it with a couple players. You know, obviously the likes of Valentin Barco was someone that they brought in January last season. We'll kind of see how he does with a full Premier League season under his belt. There's a lot of other players that they have under their system that I don't know if they're really proven yet enough. I mean, they still have the likes of Danny Welbeck on the team. There's a lot of players that, you know, they have experience, but at the same time, like, you know, Joao Pedro, they splashed the cash on him last season. He provided some goals for them, which he did pretty well. But we need to see a little bit of that consistency with him that is just not there. So I could see where there's a little bit of a fall off, especially with losing their or getting rid of their manager. Obviously, that's a big loss for them too. So it's just they're kind of in a turmoil right now. I don't know what they're really going to do this season. I don't expect them to get back into European positions. I'm thinking maybe they'll end up maybe between like 11, 12, kind of like upper mid-table, not really like looking too far into the top 10. For me, honestly, like I honestly think that Villa will struggle a lot more than what they really are touted to do. Just because I think with the added pressure of playing Champions League football, they have a lot. Obviously, they were able to bring in a lot of good signings to the team, but Villa is just one of those teams where I feel like it's going to be one of those Newcastle things where they're going to struggle just because they have Champions League football now, and there's a lot more fixtures. There's a lot of their squad depth's not really there, so I think that that's going to be one of the teams that kind of takes a little bit of step back, maybe gets 9th, 8th, around there. I don't see them contending and pushing up like they did this season before.
Okay. I'm personally just going to say it right now. I think a team that is going to surprise me or us this coming season, is going to be Newcastle. Just because I think last season, if I remember correctly, they were doing pretty good for a moment, and then all of a sudden they just started dropping points. But if they're able to keep that consistency of them, winning games or drawing games, getting points on the table, I think they'll finish definitely at least top 5.
You think they're going to be pushing back up into the Champions League positions?
Maybe Europa League next season. If they get Champions League position, that'll be amazing. But for sure, Europa. For sure.
Because I think with Newcastle, it's that weird thing where they haven't been able to really spend, because what they were looking to do was they were looking to sell on a lot of players,
right?
Bring players in. They kind of try to do the United model where, I mean, obviously we needed to sell a couple players too. We brought in a couple players, but we also could have brought in more had we sold a couple more. So Newcastle was just kind of waiting on that. Like, they needed to get rid of players because of FFP and everything. Obviously, I think that there's one club in specific that, honestly, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with Chelsea. I think that the fact that they've been able to bring in all these signings with so much money, where is this coming from? Like, I don't understand. But if Chelsea's able to do it, Newcastle's definitely able to bring in signings. It's just, I know Newcastle aren't looking. They're looking at in a broader term of the project, right? So after they got taken over, they slowly started bringing in pieces and upgrading the team slowly, and not brought in drastic changes like we've seen in the likes in the past, where, you know, when City got taken over, they brought in so many new players, and that's just not something that Newcastle's afforded the opportunity to do. So they're doing that slow route. Last year, they took a step back because of that Champions League. So,
right.
And they even had a decent run in the Champions League. It's not like they played bad. They gave the team, they played Dortmund, they had PSG, and then I forget who the third team was. But
I think they should have done.
Was it Milan? Yeah. So it's a tough group to be in, let alone.
They could have won it, though. They were in the group of death, and I think they played really well, considering they were the underdogs.
The whole table there was a little.
They were getting points against AC Milan, PSG, and who else was it?
Dortmund. They didn't get points. I don't think they got points against Dortmund.
I don't think they took points against Dortmund.
I don't think they took points against Dortmund.
Well, those are still two big clubs. One of the biggest clubs in Europe.
Yeah, they had a good showing.
They
won against PSG, which was really impressive.
Biggest club in France, and you know what I'm saying.
I don't think they would have got far in the knockouts at all.
I'm not saying that they would have. I'm not saying they would have gone far, but you know, it's something. I'm just saying
it's something to build off
this
of.
Season. Yep,
right. It's something to build off of.
This coming season, they're definitely going to do something crazy.
It's something to build off of, and I think also the fact that they kept Almiron despite the lacks of of Charlotte wanting to bring him in. I think they just couldn't get that deal done. So they kept Almiron. There's still time in the window for them to make moves. This guy's kind of early still. There's still a couple days left.
Right.
Who knows? We might be talking about, Newcastle are bringing in new players now, and this is something that can kind of turn their season around. So it is still early. A lot of things could change. I mean, a lot of teams are still bringing in players. But Jose, I want to get your take on this. Who do you think was going to shock us this season?
Honestly, I'd say West Ham. West Ham have brought in a lot of good players. If I can remember correctly, they brought in, was it Nicholas Fulkrug?
Yeah.
I saw Nicholas Fulkrug. They brought in Somerville from Leeds, which he's a really good winger. They brought in, I think, Todibo on loan. I think I saw.
Yeah, they got Todibo.
Permanent, I'm not sure. One of those, and another Brazilian from Palmeiras, Guilherme. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
I think he's a DM.
I think he's an attacker.
Is he?
I don't know what position exactly though, but I know he's an attacker.
Oh, he's a midfielder.
Okay, so so I think West Ham are going to do really good. With Lopetegui now with Moises gone, I think Lopetegui plays more of an attacking football. So I'd say West Ham, they're definitely going to be a team to watch out for sure.
I think they'll also bringing in Wan-Bissaka too. I mean, United fans will probably. He was rotting on our bench, really. But honestly, like from a United fans perspective, like Wan-Bissaka is actually good at defending. He just can't attack.
At the same time, I don't think West Ham plays that attacking. I haven't really watched West Ham, but I don't think they played that attacking fullback. Like you said, I've seen Wan-Bissaka. I remember when he came to United, he's very good defensively. But he's solid. That's when you go up, he's not very good. But I think he'll shine at West Ham.
And they still have Kudus. They have Edson Alvarez.
Oh yeah, Kudus. Kudus.
Oh, and they got Paqueta. You fucking
El Machin.
Yeah, no, they got a really good team. So I mean, I think they'll do good for sure.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
And also, you brought up a good point with Lopetegui. I think Lopetegui plays a different. I think Moises for me. It's all ever when he was at United, post United. Every time I've seen Moises as a manager, I felt like really uninterested with it, how his side plays. They don't really play very attacking. It's kind of boring. They have a lot of pieces though throughout that team. That now with Lopetegui, if Lopetegui can get a lot more, I feel like he's going to get a lot more out of that squad than Moyes could. Just because I honestly think that Lopetegui is a better manager. In the Prem, it is a little bit different in comparison to other leagues that Lopetegui is managed under. But I do feel like he's going to get better, the best out of the squad. And honestly, I know that Moyes won a European competition with West Ham, but in the league, he didn't really, do much of note. They struggled the season that they won their European silverware. The next season, that's how they got into Europa League. The next season was winning the Conference League. But, they have a lot of good pieces. I do agree with that. Do I think that they're going to sneak into the top 4? No, but maybe they're going to be flirting between that 5 and 6 spot. They could be right there fighting it out.
High. That's too
no,
high.
I see that.
No, I don't see that.
With the team that they have on paper, they have enough to actually contend with the teams up there. They have a really good team. They do really have a good team.
8th or 7th. Maybe they could sneak into conference, maybe. But
you think
who knows?
so?
I think low key, I think Crystal Palace, West Ham, those type of teams, they could sneak into conference if their season goes right, like injury free and everything like that. I'd say they could.
I just think a lot of things need to go in that direction. I mean, we're talking about like I said. Yeah. Even though I think Villa's going to have a drop off, Villa's still there. You got you obviously got Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, like Chelsea. Like I know Chelsea's a little bit of a younger team, and we'll get to that talking point as we get there. But I think Chelsea this season might kick it up a little bit. They might do better than what they did last season. I don't think they get any European spots this year. Honestly, I really don't. It's a really young team, but obviously United really bolstered up their roster. Even though, if I'm honest, I think we're coming in this season with a worse roster than we did the season prior, just because again, we're dealing with a lot of injuries too. Again, at the beginning of the season. But there's a couple pieces that hopefully we're able to close out the deals and get them through the end of the window. Ugarte is still rumored to come in, but we'll kind of see where that goes. So, but yeah, honestly, that's just my opinion on it. I just don't. It's going to be really tough for those positions, but
I think Manchester United probably should be more confident with the team they have this season. Just because I
Yeah,
think people understand that how much of an
it's
impact
just
signing Matthijs de Ligt is.
it's just the injuries. That's what I'm. There's just too many injuries right now at the beginning of the season to feel like going into it right now, where I'm like, okay, like we're good in terms of signings. If everyone's healthy and everything, great, fantastic. Do I feel more confident? Absolutely, but I think last season there was just there was a little less injuries. We had more center backs. I think we're back to the same issue now where we're down center backs. We're going to have to play Johnny Evans again at some point, just
Well,
rotationally. Like
I
it's
also feel
looking
like
kind
the
of rough.
center backs you do have are like at such a high level. The depth will be a bit of a problem, but if you can keep like that same core on the field, you guys should be really good.
Oh, if Martinez and De Ligt can stay on the field and healthy together, I think we're pretty much set. I don't see any other center back kind of getting in. I think Maguire is a good rotational piece, even though he gets a lot of stick. He had some decent performances last season. Not my first choice center back, but
You did win a Player of the Month.
he did. But I don't know if I put much stock into that. Like honestly, I think that he had good performances last year, but I think coming off the bench without literally like having the pressure. I know we paid a lot of money for him, but getting that pressure off of him kind of allowed him to free flow a little bit better. Left back is one of those positions where we're kind of struggling with because I think Malassi is out. Luke Shaw just got injured too, and he won't be back until the end of international break. So right back and left back, I mean the two positions. I mean we brought in a Mazarawi to kind of fill in that right back spot that we just let Wan-Bissaka go, and now he's probably going to end up having to fill in at left back. It's just we're kind of struggling here with the rotation in the back, and there's not really anyone set on the wings. Like I don't think Rashford is a spot locked up right now. I think that whole attack, obviously missing Højlund out for a couple weeks now too. There's just a lot of weird things going on with injuries going into the season. But if all goes well, I think that this is a stronger United team. Top four, probably gonna happen. I don't see how we miss out unless unless the wheels fall off and some shit goes wrong. Top four should be in the cards.
I just don't think Ten Hag's the way
minimum.
forward, man. I don't think Ten Hag has it to make you guys like a suitable.
I'm willing to give him a chance, though.
Contenders.
I'm willing to give him a chance just on the fact that he did win 2 titles the first 2 seasons that he's here. So like I get their cup competitions. Not a lot of people want to put too much stock in it, an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup, but he's won things. Other managers have been here and haven't won things. So
and that's a positive, sure, but when it comes to like staying like consistency in the league, I think that's very imperative. And like Ten Hag, I don't know, man. I just don't think he's the way forward.
Yeah, but if you look at it through the lens of like who else would we have brought in, that could fix it now.
There's a lot of good coaches out there right now, man. You could potentially sign for sure.
That want to go to United though? Not many.
Yeah, there's not many.
Tuchel wanted to, but he didn't want to, but he was a contender, but I guess he didn't like their project or something like that.
Yeah, it was rumored that Tuchel was in there. I forgot. I don't think Hansi was one before he signed for Barcelona.
No, Pochettino was one, and then Ipswich's manager McKenna was one too.
Yeah, but again, like those aren't like. Do you continue to allow the guy that like obviously he's won it? Like that's what I mean. It was a little bit harder to make that decision after he won the FA Cup. Had he have lost it, probably would have gone sacked. But because he won the trophy, it's just like, can you really argue like giving him just another season just to see where it goes? Not really. So it's like, let him stay on. We'll see what he kind of builds here. We'll see kind of how it goes. It could be one of those things where he could be let go if shit's not going well, and we struggle in Europe. We're struggling in the Prem. Like a lot of things have to go wrong. I feel like for us to get rid of him right now, and with him and all the players that he brought in from Ajax that he used to manage, hopefully things are a little bit more stable. But we'll see kind of how it goes.
I think you guys would have got Poch if it wasn't for Ten Hag winning the cup, to be honest.
Yeah, but I don't
really strong link to Poch. But I don't think he would have done.
I mean, you as a Chelsea fan, you know, but you've seen it. Poch isn't really that exciting.
No.
The best job that he really ever had was Southampton, and then he kind of took that momentum into Tottenham, and then after Tottenham, like, just kind of went back downhill. So it just ever since he left Tottenham, whatever spark, whatever whatever he was able to bring into a team, just haven't seen it. PSG he struggled at. He's had a lot of mishaps throughout after leaving Tottenham. Chelsea, it wasn't really positive. There was a lot of players that just, I thought that his system was confusing at Chelsea, if I'm honest. But yeah, I don't know. And also, like, let's just touch on Chelsea before I move on quick. Like, what is going on over there? Why? What's going on with these allegations that you guys are gonna end up getting a transfer ban?
I think a lot of people are saying that because we're buying out players, but I think a lot of it has to do with us giving our players the long-term contracts. So before the Prem, I think it was in the summer of 2023, they removed the thing where it was for, I forgot the name. It was amortization, I think. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but it's where, say you give someone an 8-year contract and you sign them for $100 million. So that price will get spread between 8 years.
In 8 years.
So
yeah.
in each window, it'll only be like, oh, they only spent, say for example, 10. I don't know the math, but it's like, oh, they only spent 10 million that transfer for him. You know what I mean? But then they cut that down back to 5 because they didn't want people to like exploit that. So
yeah, because I think what transfer was it that they did?
Enzo and Mudryk.
Yeah, Enzo. Yeah,
Enzo and Mudryk, and then we didn't get
Caicedo?
Caicedo. No, Caicedo wasn't. Caicedo wasn't the 5-year because we signed him in the summer. But for sure,
Yeah.
Enzo and Mudryk, those two players, same with Badiashile, all those players like that, they're all in like a 8-year contract. So that those costs are split between 8 windows. So that's a big thing.
So it's like 16. So it's 16 windows over. Yeah, so 16 windows over the 8 years. The way that it was explained was that with the long contracts on the books, like whenever they were selling players, the easiest way that they would do it, so they would sell a player for 50 million that window. They would record it on the books that they made 50 million that season or 50 million that window. But again, that's spread out throughout the contract that they're getting that paid. So it's not like they're getting that 50 up front. They were writing it on the books as it was up front. So net profit, like say I'm bringing 3 players, each of them, let's say I sign 3 players, 60 mil each over 5 years, I'm splitting up that cost. But if I sell a player like at 50, like, the loss ratio, you're not really losing much there. So as long as they were selling players within to meet to be above the loss threshold, they were okay. But I think ever since they kind of moved away from that now, because Chelsea really exploited that, every other team was able to do it for the longest time. That loophole was open for a while. Bowley brought that in from the American system of signing contracts, and all these baseball contracts are like 10 years, 300 million or whatever, and they're all split up over the long period of the contract. But I think now when you look at it though, the amount of players you brought in this window and the amount of players that are there right now, I know a lot of them are going on loan, but you're stocking up players that or you're rumored to be in for players that haven't played first team football. They're still young, and they still need that level of development. And rumors are like 20 mil for a player in Brazil. I think it gets a little excessive. I don't really know what the strategy is for Chelsea right now. If they're stockpiling players just to not worry about it
as well.
So here's the thing. So 2 points. One of them, so like I told you with how it's spread over the 8-year contract. Say you saw someone, an academy player, for example, we sell Connor Gallagher for it was 40 million, but they're still in talks or something, so it hasn't become official. So say you spend, for example, I don't know, 50, and then we sell Broja, Gallagher, and then Chalobah. So on that net balance will become positive, because since those costs are spread out, and it'll seem like we sold more than we came in, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's just the concern is like you're bringing in like 5 keepers in a window. Like I don't know why you need like 5, 6 goalkeepers.
And I just learned this. This is something that I didn't know before. I guess if signing people under 18, they don't count for FFP.
They don't.
I didn't know this. So honestly, signing players like Kendry Paez and like Esteval and the one they want to sign, Gabriel Mech. They're all big South American talents, and they're not going to come for FFP, so it's not like it's going to affect us either way. Same with other Belgian goalkeepers.
They won't. They'll count for FFP. They won't count for your registration. So let's say that Chelsea does end up getting a transfer ban. Let's just say, because that's what's rumored, and a points deduction is what I heard too. So let's just say that they do end up getting that transfer ban. They get the transfer ban. All these young players come through. They're still under the age of 21. They don't have to be registered. They can still play. It's like, it's kind of fucked, but I mean, it's valid. Like, as long as they don't go, or they're not over the age of 21, like, it's okay. But, you know, is it smart on Chelsea's end to stock up now while they're able to? I think
Honestly,
so.
yes. I think so too. I think that's why they're signing so many players.
They're
And
getting
a
ready
lot
for
of
the
people
transfer ban.
a lot of people are like, oh, why are they signing so much?
Because
people? One is depth. I think depth is really important, and two, I feel like they kind of feel like they might get banned.
But I heard that that's all, like, the people that found it is that the new ownership group found that.
Yeah, so they self-reported it. So who knows?
Yeah.
It depends on the Premier League. I personally feel like it'll be points deduction. I prefer the transfer ban, to be honest, than points deduction.
But how long of a transfer ban do you think they're gonna get? Like, if
I
they
don't
do get a transfer
know.
ban.
It might be 1 or 2.
How long was your last one?
Just one window.
Just one?
Yeah.
Just one window?
But that was because we signed too many academy players or something like that.
Yeah, too many young players. But that's what I mean. Too many young players are being signed. But
no, yeah, I think it'll probably be a points deduction. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 5, 10. I don't know. I don't know the amount of points it could be. But
how many points did Everton lose last season?
12.
Was it 12?
Yeah.
I think it got diminished down to like 9 though.
Oh, maybe.
It's still a lot of points, though. It's still a lot of
right.
points.
So that's why, me personally, I prefer a transfer ban. Because say even we sign Joao Felix and rumored Osimhen too, dude, I think we'll be fine.
Did I see the stupid rumor, by the way, that it was Napoli had offered Osimhen for Lukaku or something like that plus cash?
Who was it from?
Yeah,
I saw that as well.
I don't know who was
Marzio
from.
that said that.
I'm not sure. I just saw that shit on Twitter and I was like, yo, that's mad.
No, yeah, I feel like because Osimhen wants to leave, they'll probably find some sort of agreement. But at the moment, Fabrizio was saying that Chelsea only wants a loan from Osimhen, and that they want Osimhen to take a wage cut. But Osimhen said he doesn't want his wages like reduced at all, and he wants like a permanent transfer. He doesn't want to be loaned because he wants to leave Napoli. So
and maybe that's the thing where they work out like a loan to buy something down the line. But if you're transfer banned, can you really will that go through?
We did that with Kovacic, I think, because he was
that how that transfer was?
He was a loan with obligation. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. So if you work something out like that, where it's a loan to obligation, maybe you take a little bit of a cut this season, work on a contract, make it work. Maybe that's possible, but yeah, it'll be difficult. But talking about signings, moving on to the next talking point, the best signing this season. So obviously, there's a lot of signings coming into the Prem this season. There's been a lot of big players and a lot of big names that have come in. For me, obviously, it's going to be Delit. Like the amount of people that honestly, for how cheap he was in terms of the center backs that we brought in before for more money, getting Delit is, for me, that's got to be probably the signing of the window. I don't know who else really has come through that can impact a team that much, especially with us losing Varane and having holes at center back for a while now. Getting I would say a world-class center back like that. Obviously, a guy that has experience playing with Juventus, Bayern, Ajax, like having that level of game time in Europe and all this. I think it provides something else that we just didn't really have outside of just maybe Varane. That it's going to be helpful for us. We'll kind of see how things pan out if they're able to stay healthy, how that backline works. Talked about it a little bit in the previous segment. It could be a lot, but I think at the end of the day, I think for me, Delit is probably my signing of this window. But I don't know who wants to go next.
I can go next. Being a Barcelona fan, Bournemouth just signed the Mexican Julian Araujo.
Best signing?
I think for them. Yes, for them.
Okay.
for them.
Overall for the Pro Bowl.
This is
Overall?
overall.
I mean, if you think about it like this, he has talent. He's bringing the talent to them. I think it's going to be a perfect match for them. I think they'll complement each other well, and I think he's going to really pop out defensively. It's going to look. I know you guys might think I'm crazy, be like, well, he didn't do much in Spain, whatever. Trust me, he's class. He's going to.
Oh, he did really well at Las Palmas last season.
He's going to pop off, man. Trust me.
Didn't he clamp up Vinny?
Yes, defensively, dude, he was. For a moment, he was one of the best defensive right backs in La Liga. Now, it's the Liga and Prem are two different leagues, but I'm just saying I think that is the best signing for me just because, again, like I said, I'm a Mexico fan, Barcelona fan, and I love every time I play career mode, I sign this guy. He's so good. I love him. I love how he plays, and I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. I'm excited to see how he plays, and I'll definitely get him on my fantasy draft for sure because he is class.
All right, Jose.
I don't know. There's kind of been some low key like decent signings. Like I agree, Araujo's a good one. Who else? I think Fulkrug is also a really good one for West Ham. You know, because Fulkrug, Champions League, he did really good with Dortmund and stuff. I know Connor can agree with that. I don't know, man. I'd say a good one, probably Calafiori. Calafiori is a really good signing, and for the price that he got signed for, like, yeah, no, I think Calafiori is going to be one of Italy's best center backs in the coming years, and I think Arteta's going to do a really good job integrating him into the Arsenal team. Even as a Chelsea fan, man, like I think Calafiori for Arsenal is a very, very good signing.
Yeah, I was about to say he's one of those signings that a lot of teams were going at. I think Chelsea was in for him too. There was a couple other teams that were in for him. He was fantastic in the Euros. He had a really good season with Bologna. I think that him in that Arsenal team, I don't know. It's hard because you got, obviously he can play left back, but you got Gabriel, you got Saliba, you got, they got Ben White, they got Tomiyasu who can play center back. They got a lot of players that can play center back and can play full back. I also forgot they have the other Dutch guy that was injured last season.
Kiwior?
No. Connor, we signed him a lot in FM. I think he was at Ajax. Was he at Ajax?
Dutch defender in Arsenal?
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
Wait,
I don't
Dutch?
want to get this. Yeah, he's Dutch.
Timber?
Timber. They have Timber as well. So it's like, they have a lot of competition for it, and that's they're gonna look a lot better. We'll get to my top
Did
six.
they not play Timber out wide though?
They did. They played him at. They played him at right back.
Yeah.
I think their back line's gonna be
Very
Calafiori left
versatile.
back, Calafiori left back, Gabriel, Saliba center backs, and then Ben White right back. I think that's gonna be there.
Yeah, but you see how all those guys are center backs too.
He's taking it from the best coach ever. Pep.
I mean, Pep's playing Gavardiol at left back too, so it's
interesting. Ake at left back as well.
Hasn't Stones played right back too previously?
And then right Walker played center back. Like we're over here. You guys remember when we used to play FIFA back in the day? You used to play fullbacks at center backs.
Yep, Walker.
That's what the new football is now. Playing fullbacks at center back.
Don't remind me. All
right, but Connor, your signing of the window, I should say, not even season.
I have an honorable mention that I just want to bring up. I think Jesper Lindstrom could be really cool because I remember he used to tear it up at Eintracht Frankfurt. Had a bad season at Napoli, as on loan at Everton. He could really make a difference for them. But for my signing of the season, I'd probably go with Ian Maatsen. I think that he has a lot to prove. I think he showed how his true quality last season at Dortmund on loan. And I think that with all the playmakers Aston Villa have, that he could be very, very crucial in especially giving more to Ollie Watkins as well, who was a top player last season, scoring a lot of goals, getting a lot of assists himself. And especially the passing play from Ian Maatsen, his vision is phenomenal. So he's definitely, in my opinion, I think he's going to get a lot of assists, be more or a lot like put numbers up like Trent, in my opinion, which is pretty bold.
You know who's an interesting one that I completely forgot about? Brentford brought in Carvalho from Liverpool. I completely forgot about that. And Carvalho is he's a young player still, and he's very good. I think Liverpool, he just didn't really have the chances to really do much there.
One second,
But Carvalho,
1 second.
yeah, go for it. Carvalho was one of those players that honestly he's very good for the price that they paid for him. He's still very young. I know Liverpool has they have a clause on a sell-on clause for him, but still, I think he'll do well. I think Savinho from he was on loan at Genoa, but obviously what he was able to do at Genoa and like everything that happened there, going into that City team, young player, I think.
Girona?
Yeah, Girona. Like, obviously they lost Julian Alvarez, and that's a big loss for him. But do I think with that, they knew that they were having players coming in too. So losing Julian is probably not that big of a deal for them as it probably would have been had they not have brought in these players. They obviously brought in a lot. Like, I think there's a lot of like low key signings here. Like, I think Yoro will end up being really, really good for us too. It just sucks that he's hurt right now. I don't know how Xerxes gonna do. I think Xerxes an interesting one just because we saw him do really well at Bologna. And Xerxes, he was at Bayern before, previous to going to Bologna, and he's been always touted as a young, up and coming prospect. He's 23 now. Do I think he's gonna get much playing time once Højlund comes back? I don't know. I think it's a bit of a toss up for me. But yeah, and as far as like other signings go, I mean, there's a couple other teams that have made signings. Like,
what about Pedro Neto for Chelsea? How about that? That's smooth, huh? Hey, don't cap right now, bro. He's smooth.
Pedro Neto's good, but
if he can stay injury free, I think he'll be a really good signing for us.
Yep. He's tough. I'm not a big Chelsea fan. I'm not gonna lie. I like giving crap to Jose when it comes to Chelsea, but I'm not gonna lie. Pedro Neto's a W signing, man.
And look, if you're worried about the injury, his injury list, and I'm staying optimistic. Look at Dembele and Barca. He was constantly injured, and look at him in PSG. He hasn't got injured once.
Yeah, that's because he's a rat. He's a rat. Rat.
Yeah, no, but that's the way I see it. So I'm very optimistic about his signing for sure.
I think he'll do good. I'm out there agree with Jose. He'll do good.
I'm more concerned about Madueke and Mudryk. I mean, you bring in those kind of guys and you give them that kind of like freedom, I guess. And now you're bringing Pedro Neto. What does that mean for Madueke
I think it's
and
just
Mudryk?
for competitiveness.
The competition.
I think, yeah, for sure, because they can push each other for sure. Because think about it. Say they're blanking, right? It gives the other guy a chance, and it pushes them to get better, so they can get back into that starting 11. And also, I saw a rumor with if Felix comes in, yeah, he can. Madueke would potentially go to Newcastle. So I mean, that'd be interesting for sure.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like kind of looking at too. I going back to your point, you brought up Sarr earlier, and I just want to touch on Sarr. Sarr, when he was at Norwich, was actually one of their bright spots when they were in the Prem. Obviously, they got relegated. He went away to Marseille. Now he's back in the Prem. Do I think Sarr? Ismail Sarr.
Yeah, Watford.
Was it? Oh yeah, Watford. My bad. Yeah, talking about Norwich. Yeah, Watford. Obviously, he went to Marseille. He's come back now. Do I think that he's gonna? I don't think he's gonna flop. I think that going to Marseille is probably just a different experience for him to go to a different league. He's succeeded before in the Prem. He's done well. He's not gonna replace what Elise did. Do I think it provides them a lot of help though? Of course. I think that he will be an important piece to what they're doing offensively at Crystal Palace. And again, I think it's kind of hard for me to really pinpoint Crystal Palace right now because it could be where they could do really well or they could just kind of do mediocre. So it's kind of hard, but I feel like he will have a bigger impact than what really is kind of just seen for him right now too. And just like I said, even looking at the list, I think like the amount of signings that Villa's brought in too, obviously bringing in Amadou Onana from from Everton. That's a really good signing for them. They lost Douglas Luiz. They sold him to Juventus, but I think bringing in someone like Amadou Onana, like that's a very good signing. Obviously, we were in for him, but I think Everton wanted way too much, and now we're over here trying to get Ugarte too. But yeah, I like your Maston point. I think Maston's is a good fullback. You know, he's proven to be. And I think Chelsea let him go when I feel like they have a lot of issues at left back all the time. But
I think Cuckoo is going to be very good for us for sure because the way Enzo Maresca wants to play, he likes his fullbacks to have the ability to invert, and Cucurella is very good at that. I think he's a very good player for that. I mean, he can be either left center back in a back three or even in a pivot. I think has very good passing abilities. So.
He shined in the Euros.
Yeah, and he did really good in the Euros. So I think we're
I was just thinking more of like your depth wise because obviously like Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell. I can't even think today. Ben Chilwell is always hurt constantly, and you know it's difficult for him to stay healthy and like stay on the pitch.
Yeah, we signed a player. His name's Renato Vega. He can play. He's not very known. We signed him. I think it was the Belgian league, I believe. Belgian or Portuguese? I think it was Belgian though.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, sorry, Switzerland. He was signed from the Switzerland league, and
from Basel.
I don't know.
It's from Basel.
It must have been Basel. Yeah. And he's very versatile. I think Enzo Maresca referred to him as his Swiss Army knife, and he can play left back, center back, even defensive mid. He's a very versatile player. So I think he's very good depth, and he seems like an overall decent player. I think he'd be a really good squad player for sure.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of good signings. I think for me, it's hard to say anything else other than really De Ligt because that's like the big name that really pops up. But there's a lot.
That's the biggest name probably.
Yeah, but honestly, like that, in terms of like these lower, I guess you could say low key signings, like there's a lot of good signings that have been made this season into different teams, and we'll kind of see how everything kind of works out. But honestly, I think for me, like I said, De Ligt is probably going to be the best signing of this window. Yeah, there's still a couple of days left in the window, so we don't know what's going to happen. You know, Joao Felix could end up going back to Chelsea. Kind of see how everything pans out. But
coming back to Barca.
I don't know. I think it'll be difficult for him to
question. This isn't a topic, but you don't have like a dream signing for your own club, right? On this as a topic.
I mean, you could add it here. You could add it here.
That's what I was gonna ask you. For me, I think one of my favorite dream signings for me that I wish my club would have done would have been either Benjamin Sesko, but you know he signed a new contract deal. For sure, Nico Williams. I would have loved for Chelsea to sign Nico Williams because
I think anyone would love Nico.
Yeah, no, man, he's just amazing. There was one more I had in mind, but I forgot. But you guys can go ahead. If it comes back to my mind, I'll say.
I think for me, it's just, God, I don't know. I would want like if I'm looking at this United team now with the signings that we've made, I would want another winger, just to provide more competition. Because our winger spots are kind of lackluster. I just don't know who I would bring in. It's just difficult to really like pinpoint. You know, like if we're being realistic, it's difficult to pinpoint a winger right now that could come in and that would really do bits outside of just obviously your Nico Williams and things like that. But you know, if they can get the Ugarte deal over the line, I think that'll be really beneficial for us. That way we can let Casemiro go. I think that I don't know if Casemiro will end up leaving at the end of this window. Even if he doesn't, though, I think having someone for 6 months at least with that experience that could bring him on, players like Ugarte and Kobe Mainu, and just help us mold these defensive midfielders a little bit more. It'll help them out a lot. But I think solidifying that position would be really beneficial for us. But you know. I don't know. It's kind of hard to like really pinpoint a signing that I would be like, this is who I really, really want, you know. Connor, do you have anyone?
I mean, as a Orlando City and Crystal Palace guy, I would say I would like to see Facundo Torres join Crystal Palace. Right. That was a rumor earlier in the window. I remember seeing that. And
I don't see them letting him go right now.
I don't either, but I think it would be a dream for me. Just Players playing the Premier League. Even if he doesn't do well, I just think the depth for Crystal Palace on the wing would be really important since we've had to play Eze over there a lot. Like then move him back in the middle, then back out on the wing. So I like having enough depth. So if we don't want to feel like playing Eze out of the wing, we feel like we want to play him in the middle of the season, we can do that. So I think that depth would be good. And again, as an Orlando City fan, I would love to see what Facundo Torres could do, especially on a team that looks to be successful like Crystal Palace.
All right, Carlos, you go.
Representing City here, I honestly don't see any upgrades City can make. To be honest, maybe a strong backup goalkeeper. Who? I'm not too sure, man. City overall has good depth. I don't see anyone else. I mean, maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe a backup striker, since we just let go Julian Alvarez.
A backup DM, dude. Rodri doesn't really have a backup.
Yeah, but he doesn't really run much. He reminds me more of a Busquets and how he played. He doesn't run much.
Well, you got to remember, Kevin Phillips is coming back.
Oh,
he's not gonna use him though.
Well,
I mean, he won't, but it's depth.
He'd probably use Kovacic.
Or John Stones went into the DM position a lot as well.
Nah.
John Stones would move up. So there's that.
Honestly,
I'm telling you, man, I don't really see City getting anyone dream-wise just because they already have the dream team.
Wait, question, Connor. Did City sign another player from River Plate?
They signed a Brazilian winger.
Echeverri.
Echeverri.
Who is this guy?
He's an 18-year-old youngster. He's a really good upcoming.
Is he good though, Connor? I know you watch River. You're a fan.
He's really good.
Is he?
Yeah, he's really good.
I don't know. They're just over there scouting South American talent. They just keep bringing.
What I will say is, didn't really get a chance to see him grow like Alvarez though.
Okay. So it could be a miss. It could be a miss, but
I think Alvarez was more of like a guarantee. Like I think if any team signed Alvarez, I would have been like, yeah, they got a gem. With Echeverri,
honestly,
it's more like
I like Julian, so like I'm glad that he's no longer at City, so I can actually support him. But yeah, I honestly I think that it's a lot better for him in terms of he's just gonna get a lot more opportunities over at Atletico, and I think that he's gonna do a lot better in La Liga. I think it's just gonna suit him better as a league anyway.
Connor, did you?
Oh, go ahead, Jose.
Did you ever watch them play Boca?
Yeah.
Did you watch? Did you Anselmino? What do you know about Anselmino?
Anselmino,
center back. There's center back. He's I think they're pretty much the starter. I'm pretty sure. For Boca.
I don't remember.
That's fine. I was just curious. All right, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's not gonna do well at Atleti. I know this is a Prem talk, but I'm just gonna say
you can bring it
now,
in. You can bring it in.
He's not gonna do well at Atleti just because of the way Atletico plays. I religiously do watch La Liga. I'm not much of a Prem guy, but I can say he's not gonna do that well at that's a nice jersey. He's not going to do that well at the Atleti.
That is a nice jersey.
Because of the way they play. They play a lot of
very defensive.
Yeah, the striker sits around as well and waits for the counterattack. But he's a player who needs to play off of somebody. And who's that somebody? Yes, they got Griezmann, but I don't know. They play a two-striker man position. We'll see.
Also, with the Alvarez deal, it's too late now. They'll probably still keep him through January, but Griezmann's gonna end up going to MLS. He's gonna end up moving to MLS. Whether it's not gonna be now because the window just closed, but
I don't think so.
Next window.
I think in maybe 2-3 years, just because I knew Griezmann was really excited about playing with Alvarez. I saw Griezmann post a video or post something regarding Julian's transfer.
And you might be correct about that. Maybe he does finish up the season. I don't know how much Giroud has left to play, but I have a strong feeling he's going to end up going to LAFC just because of all the French links and Bouanga and all that.
I'll be right
there's
back.
something going on there, but genuinely, I think that there's a lot going on there. But I guess until he gets back, we'll wait for the other.
Yeah,
part.
Connor, I was going to ask you, how do you feel about Marcelo Gallardo coming back, dude?
I'm excited. Oh, I'm
Dude,
hyped.
I was kind of disappointed that he went to Saudi. Like, I would have loved to see him in Europe,
Oh yeah.
but
I
the fact he went to
expected him to
Saudi,
join
I
European
was like,
team.
really? Like, I
Yeah.
feel like he can definitely, or he should have gotten a chance with, like, I don't know, maybe like a top 6 team in one of the, or not a top 8, a top 8 team in one of the European top 5 leagues.
It hit a lot of like really big links, like a lot of links to a lot of big teams.
Yeah, even
then
us
when he,
at one point.
yeah, and when he went to Saudi Arabia, it was just like the most disappointing thing to see as a River Plate guy. You know?
Man.
But having him back, I'm blessed, very blessed.
Yeah. No, he's
You
gonna.
know, I actually saw Di Michelis in person, so it was kind of sad to
Really?
see him go in a way.
Yeah.
But out of the back is definitely a blessing.
For sure, man.
All right. Well, moving on to the next segment, the top 6. This is a very controversial take.
Oh
no!
Here we go.
This is gonna get a lot of different opinions here. Obviously, we know that we were talking as we were talking at the beginning of the show about even shocks and relegation. So I wonder, like, how there's no. I'm gonna start off by saying there's no perfect top 6, but there's
a
only
lot of
bro.
competition, man. There's a lot of competition. It's hard to say.
It's gonna be really hard to really pick out who is gonna be in that top 6. It's gonna be really hard. Jose, you want to kick it off? I'll kick it off.
I'll let Connor. I want to hear Connor. I'm intrigued.
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
Okay, sorry guys to disappoint you, but I'm not taking Crystal Palace in the top 6. I am not that delusional. I'm not that delusional. But I do believe in Aston Villa. I do trust what they have. I think they will make top 6 this year, as they did last year. I think that. I mean, I'm gonna say it now. Man City and Liverpool. I don't think that's really a shocker. Arsenal too. I think those 3.
Okay, put them in order though. Put them in order. We need the order. 6 to 1.
Okay. I think that Aston Villa 6, Man United 5. Wow. I think Arsenal's going to drop off a bit. I think Arsenal's going to.
That's crazy.
I think they're going to finish 3rd. I'll take
Liverpool 2nd.
I think Liverpool are going to finish 2nd. I do think that's
They haven't even signed anyone. They haven't even signed anyone.
That's what I'm saying.
I trust what they have. I mean, I think what they have is
Soboslai's good, but
a lot of young talent, and the core Virgil, Salah, and I don't think I mentioned a 4th place, and that's because I'm kind of kicking between Tottenham and Chelsea, because those 2 teams for me could be here or here. Like, Tottenham really surprised us last season, and I really do trust their defense, but it's Solanke for me. He needs to hit the ground running. Like, if he didn't hit the ground running, I think they're going to suck. I will pick Chelsea though for 4th. I do trust what Chelsea are doing.
Okay, Jose, go. I'll say that.
All right. So top 6. I'm gonna go from 6th. I'm gonna say United. United 6th.
Jesus
like I said,
Christ.
I don't believe in Ten Hag, man. I don't believe in him.
I get it.
I like you guys' team. It's good. It's you guys have a good team. But your manager, dude, I don't think he's gonna do well, bro. 5th, I'll go for Aston Villa. I think they have a really good club. If they do manage to sign Joao from us, I feel like we will get him. But if they do, I think they'll probably can even sneak into the top 4. But I think Unai has done a really good job. He plays wonderful football. I mean, he got him to Champions League football. But yeah, they're a really good team to watch for sure. 4th, I'm gonna say this: if we can stay injury free and if the stuff starts gelling together, I think we can make 4th, man. I believe because listen. I'll say why. So we have a lot of really good talent.
I hope
a lot of
150 players, bro. Basically,
we do have a lot of good players. You guys can't deny that we have a lot of good players. But the issue is, can they gel in time enough? Like, can by like November, can they be a very more well-drilled squad than now? And can they see injury free? Those are two big questions. I mean, and I think Connor can agree with this. I know Enzo is one of the best midfielders, I'd say. So
Yes,
I'd say
I very much agree.
It's the Argentinian,
Oh my
bro. It's the
God.
Argentinian bias. Get the fuck out of here.
Argentina, River Plate too.
Yeah,
no,
fuck
listen,
off.
like he's a game changer. He's honestly a game changer.
100%.
Oh,
He's one of those players that can like in one pass. He can in one pass change
Oh
the
my
entire
God.
game.
Ain't the
Nah,
Glaze-
I
ain't the
know-
Glaze
I know
crazy. Ain't the
Got
Glaze-
muted,
ain't the
bro.
Glaze
I know
crazy.
Connor can agree with this because he's watched him even at River Plate. He's one of those
Well,
players
no,
that with one
He's
pass
gonna agree with you, bro.
he can break the
Argentinian,
Oh,
he's
oh,
Argentinian, and he loves a River Plate fan.
Oh
Like,
my
So,
God, Jose,
listen,
well,
listen.
you. Why don't you ask John and say, I know John can agree with me. Why don't you do that, huh? Why are you picking and choosing, bro?
It's obvious
I feel
that I
like-
do.
Why are you picking
It's
and choosing, bro?
because
Come
John,
on
I feel
now.
like John's
It's
gonna be
obvious.
biased about it.
Oh my.
Nah,
So is
nah.
Connor. Oh nah.
But it's like,
But he
why would
knows.
I hate Julian Alvarez or why would I hate Enzo Fernandez? They won my country a World Cup, you know. Like,
Oh,
and
my.
another fucking
Wait,
another Copa
Compa.
America.
all right. So if like I said, if they can stay injury free and everything starts gelling together, I think we can definitely land fourth. But I'm very optimistic about it. But I believe in them for sure. Top three. I mean, this is really no surprise. I'd say Liverpool stays 3. I'd be really surprised. I mean, not too surprised if they don't make top 4 because I don't know. I don't like the fact they're not making signings. Well, I like the fact
Not only are
but-
they not making signnings, but they have a new manager in too. Like,
right. So we don't know how he'll do. I
Yeah.
mean, from the Eredivisie to the Prem, it's
it's
hard. It's
A
hard.
lot different.
Ten
So-
Hag.
Look at-
Ten
I was
Hag.
gonna
So,
say, look
yeah.
at Ten Hag,
I'm a-
bro. He's struggling.
I'm gonna still have them third just because it's Liverpool. They have a lot of good players, Salah, VVD, all those players. And then Arsenal
Gakpo.
second, and then I say City first again. So I'd say that.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Carlos, go. I'm
All
gonna
right,
go
man.
last.
I'm gonna keep it blunt, and I'm gonna say it how it is. 6, like I said, watch out for Newcastle. Newcastle 6, man. No, you know what? We'll go Chelsea 6. Just cause everything is new, bro. New players, just too many players to pick from. Too many
It could either
I was
go
about to say
really
the same
good
thing.
or really bad. There's no.
I was
in
about to say
Like,
the same thing.
Too
Yeah.
many players. Like, I understand Chelsea is a good team. They have good players, but are they gonna weld together
Yeah,
in
they're gonna
time?
gel.
That's the
No.
thing. It all depends. It all depends how fast it clicks. Obviously,
It is.
Enzo Maresca's his
It's-
system. We're going from Poch's like counter-attacking type of system to Enzo Maresca's like more positional.
He's more
play.
ball dominant. He's more
Yes,
ball
It's
dominant.
not.
Yes.
It's not gonna
And
click, man. I'm
so-
just saying.
It's hard. It's hard for them because they're not used to it. They're still used to Poch's system. So it all depends on how fast those players pick it up and how fast it can gel together.
But to
And-
Carlos's
gonna
point,
click.
that is a big thing though, because in all honesty, it does take a while for you to change a system like that. It's hard. I think Carlos, obviously you play college football, so it's if you switch your
is.
manager up, the system, everything
Yep.
is
Everything.
it's gonna be a
changes,
while.
man.
Everything changes. Like it's
And
difficult to kind
you,
of just
I'm not
click in.
saying you have bad players. You have great players. Chelsea has amazing players, but they're just so used to look at. I'm gonna set this example. Look at Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire for Leicester was good, phenomenal, great, but that was the system he was playing. Goes to United, you know what I'm saying? Now
It's a different system.
that's what I'm saying. Now Chelsea,
Higher
new coach,
line.
new players, everything is different, man. So now,
But-
are they gonna flop? Are they not? I personally think they're gonna flop, so I put them at 6th.
The only reason why I believe they can finish fourth, yes, a new system. It's gonna take time for them to get the tactics down and everything. But individually, we have a lot of really good individual players. Cole Palmer, Enzo, Marco Correa. We have a lot of individual talent, and I think that alone could probably carry them for a bit until that system starts clicking.
See, that's
So
the
that's
thing,
why
though.
that's why I'm really optimistic about it.
You're
Because
naming players from the old system, and if you're playing a new system, those old players
The-
are going to
the
be
old,
the downfall.
The old system is in the past. I'm talking about individual brilliance here. Because
But that's not going to win you anything.
That's
'cause
not
they have
gonna
to
win you
click as a
games. It's
team,
not-
man. They have to-
Yeah, that's
I'm
not.
not-
I know.
like I said, you have good players, but that good players aren't going to win you games. Look at PSG. They had
That-
Messi,
that-
Neymar, Mbappe. Did they win a Champions League? No, they suck together, man.
that and that's also another case. Like maybe individuality is going to win you 1 or 2 games. Will it carry you through the season to get top 4? I don't see it.
Oh.
I don't think we're gonna have to rely on that. I'm hopeful the system starts clicking.
not.
As I saw
Not
at the
this season,
beginning,
at
at the
least.
beginning of preseason, it was not as good. But as the time went by, the players were starting to get more sharper, less sloppier. So I don't know. I'm optimistic about it. I'm hopeful that the players are intelligent. They're like I said, they're have very high ceiling. So I'm very optimistic. I still feel like we'll finish 4th.
All right. Well,
all right. Who's
back
your
to my
fifth?
list. 6th, Chelsea, as I
Fifth.
said. 5th, like I said again, I also am gonna put Newcastle there. So Chelsea 6th, 5th is Newcastle.
Okay.
I just think they're a dark horse. Again, I think they'll get their mojo back. I did say they're gonna make Europa League, and that's what I think is what they're gonna do. So Europa League for Newcastle, and they'll be 5th. 4th, United, man. I'll put 4th at United. They're not gonna be up there top 3, but they'll be 4th, man. They'll do good. They'll do all right. I think Ten Hag does have a plan, and towards the end of the season, he got some. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna do well, man. I trust Ten Hag. I'm a side with John a little bit here. I love the how he did his stuff with Ajax, so I think he's gonna do really well. I think John can agree that Ten Hag will do a lot better.
Look at that.
Now my 3rd place, so I got Chelsea 6th, Newcastle 5th, United 4th. 3rd place, I'm gonna go Liverpool, man. Liverpool's a big name. You think of European football, you think of Liverpool.
So you're saying Aston Villa's not even in the conversation?
I don't think they'll do. I don't think they'll do that.
Not even with Ian Madsen.
They'll finish top 6, top 7. No, top 7th. I think they'll finish 7th, but we're doing top 6. So
really? You think United, Newcastle, all those teams have a better chance of finishing higher than Aston Villa?
Now it might be a bad take, but again, it's my list,
Okay.
So what did I say? 3rd, Liverpool. Liverpool's still a big name. They have older players, experienced players. So whatever they do, new manager, whatever, they'll still be okay, I think. And then 2nd, Arsenal. Come on, bro. That's Arteta is baby Pep. So
baby Pep.
come on, man. Arsenal up there. And of course, my 1st place, it has to be City. I love City. Just because of Pep. Ever since Pep is my guy. So they have depth, they have everything. They have a striker, they have wingers, they have midfielders, they have defenders, they have outside backs as whatever they want. They have a goalkeeper who can take PKs. They have it all. I'm full glazing City right now, but that's because I truly think they are one of the best teams in Europe.
That is wild. All right,
So,
I'm gonna let all of you guys keep your City at 1, because again, we talked about the looming, allegations.
I don't think it'll
United.
affect
I'm leaving. By the way,
No.
You say United. I'm leaving.
Listen. Let me start.
Don't mess this up, John. I will walk out of my room.
Let me lob it to you. Chelsea at 6.
I'll walk out too.
Okay.
Chelsea at 6.
Okay.
I don't think I need much explanation. I think you did a very good analysis of why they're going to get 6. I think that it's a little difficult for them to make the switch. It's a new system, new players,
Everything.
There's a lot of changes coming through. It'll be hard for them to kind of get it going. Do I think that they can have a better bounce back season after? For sure.
Yes.
I think it's just a little too early for Chelsea right now. 5th place. I don't know. I feel like Tottenham can get it. Could. I could also see Liverpool slipping up and falling down.
I see that too, bro.
I can see that.
You know what? Just because I'm gonna say Liverpool, and I'm gonna say this why.
Look at this hater.
No, it's not even hating. This is just honest truth. There's a new manager, not enough signings. Obviously, players like Thiago retired. Darwin is very inconsistent, hit or miss in club.
Uruguay, he did amazing though.
Yeah, he does good internationally, never does good in the club. So
he's a good boxer as well.
Forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, it's just Liverpool has a good team. Don't get me wrong; they have a great team. There's just a lot of different things that they needed, like kind of fight and battle over. That it's just, I think that they're gonna have this weird step back down season where they're gonna end up missing your Champions League just because it is a new manager. Not enough players are coming in. Obviously, they have Soboslai in there now for a full season. It's a different kind of system. There's a lot of players coming back. Jota coming back from injury, which he's always injured. Obviously, Salah still being there. Who knows? Maybe it could end up some. Yeah, and honestly, with their center backs, it's always it's a revolving door of who's going to take that second spot because they're all injured all the time. Trent is what it is. He can't defend. He's not a midfielder. He proved it at the Euros. I don't know what he is. I think that they're gonna have a step back, and I think for that reason they're gonna be in fifth. Fourth place. I'm gonna give it to United. I think we just edged that fourth. Maybe we can get third. I don't see us getting anything more than that. I think United, like I said, there's a lot of moving pieces with being hurt, and there's a lot of injuries going on, and there's just one or two signings maybe to solidify a couple things would help. I just don't see us doing anything better than that right now. I think that in the steps that we're moving forward to right now, it's amazing and it's fantastic. But it's a process. This is not the season where we're just going to try to take over the league and, hey, we're here. I don't think it is yet.
I just think it's the manager, man. I don't think you guys are going to do good with Ten Hag.
Honestly, I think it'll be difficult with that, but yeah, I still feel like they'll get fourth. For third, man, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. I don't know. I could see Villa. I know I said Villa could take a step back, but they brought in a lot of good players too. But I'm hesitant because of the Champions League. That's why I'm hesitant.
They're not that experienced. They're having something new. Champions League, like you said, they're not experiencing that, man. They're gonna pull full effort into Champions League because they want to make a statement. Forget about the league. That's what's gonna mess them up.
I kind of want to switch it up now that I don't know. I'm gonna keep Villa there for now, just because I feel like I would put Newcastle. If Newcastle get more signings in, they'll go there. But it's a battle to see how is Villa gonna react to new football, and if Newcastle can bring in new signings. I think that's where that kind of debate kind of goes in for me. Second, it's going to be City. Just because of these allegations, I feel like they're not going to get enough points to win the title, which is why Arsenal will end up winning it because of points deduction. No, I'm not. I'm being serious.
Bro.
Listen, the points deductions is coming.
Not to City, though. City always avoids it.
No, they're going to get points. Dude, there's 115 charges.
Okay,
I know again it's allegedly. There's a lot of shit going on.
When is these said trials supposed to happen? You said January.
Brother, we're supposed to get a result.
They're gonna get pushed back even farther. We're not gonna see those trials until the summertime, bro. Until the end of this season.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna affect this season. Man.
I feel like this will get resolved, and I feel like there's gonna be a massive points deduction. And for that, I just don't know if City are actually gonna get it through.
Nah, bro.
They're low. Money talks, man. Money talks.
I get that, but I also do understand that. At the same time, if Everton got a 9-point deduction with the stuff that they had going on,
but
City deserve way more than that. On top of that, it's difficult to like really see where I could see them having a fantastic season, getting a lot of wins, but with the points deduction, I don't know if that'll be enough to get them to win the title. I think that because of that, that's why Arsenal's going to win the title.
When you think of Champions League contenders, Champions League finalists, you think of City. You don't think of Everton. What's going to bring more moolah to the league?
I don't think the Premier League really cares. I think the Premier League, regardless, would still make money with or without City. I think they would.
I think City's way too important, bro.
I've seen something recently of the Italian league in comparison to what's going on in the Prem right now with Man City. and how they relegated like Juve, and the Italian league suffered from that. And if the Premier League do the same thing with Man City, then players like Haaland,
They
They bring a
Big
Foden,
lot of
names.
revenue,
De
bro.
Bruyne will want to
bring in
go
a
and
lot of
play for
revenue.
other teams. They're gonna want to go
Yes,
play in
but
La
at the same
Liga.
time, I don't.
Liga.
But that's what I mean. I still think they'll get a harsh points deduction. They might not get relegated, but they're going to
Maybe
get a harsh
transfer
points
ban.
deduction.
How
But
much
no,
points do you
no.
How many
What's the
points? I
point?
think it's going to be like a 20 point or 25.
Oh, you're
It's gonna be-
smoking.
It's
Bro,
gonna it's gonna be something mad because if they were originally giving Everton 12, if they're giving Everton 12, obviously they went to they appealed it, they brought it back down to 9. But if they give Everton 12, you don't think that they'll give them at least 20, 25?
I think this is what's going to happen. The news is going to say City 25-point reduction. They're going to appeal it. It's going to be like a 5-point reduction. Watch.
Ain't no way it's gonna be 5.
Watch, bro.
But even
Watch.
okay, but look at what was the table last year? How many points did Arsenal miss out of last season from winning the league?
2, I think. Like 2.
2?
It was like 2, right?
Yep.
Like, so those 5 points could be the difference between winning the title
But-
or not.
But I think this coming season, all the teams are getting stronger. The top 6 will be stronger. I think, personally.
I feel like Arsenal will be clowned. Even say they win it, they're gonna still be clowned. It's gonna be like when Liverpool won the COVID PL. It's gonna be like, point reduction. They had to win by point reduction, and they couldn't do it without it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that, but I regardless, I still think that that's going to be something that's going to be looming. That's going to happen where they're just going to.
Nah, brother.
So
I don't know. I don't feel like it'll affect this season. Maybe next season. I don't think this season though. I feel like it's
I feel
gonna
like
get
it will
pushed
this
back.
season.
dude.
No, I don't think it's gonna affect City at all. I think it's gonna be something. It's gonna be a little slap on the wrist. It's not gonna be anything big.
Probably.
I think-
just 'cause
I only
City's-
think it's City, man. It's a big name club. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think of Everton when you think of Premier League. You think of City. You think of the league winners. You think of the champs. You think of the big name City. You think of the cities. You think of the Uniteds. You think of the Liverpool.
Okay, wait. So, John, if they're gonna get like a 20-point reduction, why are they still in your top 4?
because they'll still have it. I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Bro,
I guess
do not
if it's
leave City out of this. Oh,
if it's 20 points, if we're going on basis of last season where they won 28 games, drew 7, they had 91 points. A 20 points reduction would put them at 71 points. That would still be good enough for last year. It would have been good enough for 4th place. So that's what I mean. Like, they're still gonna get enough points.
but that means
get
they have
in
to win
Champions
out.
League.
That means they have to win out. I don't see like they're gonna have to, give them.
No. This is
losses.
based on last season because they lost 3 games last season. They had 91
but
points. A 20 point deduction bring them at 70. So 71. So
Yeah, and then
it's still in the Champions League spots.
minus more points because if they lose games,
I
They're not
don't
gonna
know
win
if they're
out.
going to be really dropping that many games. That's what I mean. They're
Okay.
going to be winning games, but it's just the points deduction is going to fuck them over, and it's going to let Arsenal win the league.
I'm
I
about
also
to,
do think Arsenal did strengthen a lot where they needed it too.
I'm about to
so-
block you on everything once we're done here, John. I'm not gonna-
I've got a question though, because
Okay.
we've mentioned all of our top 6s, and we also mentioned the biggest surprises, but I'm pretty sure Tottenham finished in European place last season,
Tottenham finished
Yeah.
fifth.
and
No one brought him
No
up.
one
we
said-
didn't
no
put
one-
them in any of our lists. So,
Hey.
what are we thinking about Tottenham?
I just think they're.
I
I think they're a mid team. They're not really anything
I don't
crazy.
see, but
But-
I don't know
but did
if
they
Tottenham
drop
has enough to
off?
get 4.
Did they drop
just-
off,
I
or
just
did they
think
get
that-
better?
I think they stayed the same.
Who did
This
they
is-
sign?
Solanke, and then I don't know who else.
And then they sold. I'm pretty
Archie
sure they sold
Gray?
Emerson Royale. Their right wing back. I'm pretty sure they sold
Oh.
him.
But they also have
they have
Pedro Porro
Porro
already.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
doesn't really make a difference.
I mean, they got a bunch of loans back. I mean, they got Perisic back.
if they
Spence is staying this year. Dyer's back. I mean, and
uh,
Dembele.
They're
I
gonna-
mean,
John, do you think Pep stays even if they do get that reduction?
I don't
Yes.
think he stays if they get a reduction. If they get relegated, he ain't staying.
Didn't
I
he
think
say he
he's
wanted to
done.
coach Spain?
He said he wanted to coach internationally.
So
He
I
said
think if
that.
this, I think if they do get this point reduction, he leaves.
He
and
did
starts-
say something about Mexico. I'm just saying.
No, he didn't.
He said Dorados, bro.
That's
but
funny,
that's
bro.
when he's about
That's
to
funny.
retire.
It's funny.
No, I don't think Spurs is going to be a really big threat.
Nah, Spurs sucks, bro.
It's because for me, Spurs haven't made that signing to where it's like, boom, they're
Yeah.
back. They have Harry Kane replacement. Solanke is not going to be that. I don't think Dominic Solanke is that.
Like, I feel like
But-
Tottenham and Liverpool might or Spurs. I don't think they'll do very good, but if Liverpool do bad, I wouldn't be surprised just because they haven't signed anyone. But I think they'll still do good just because they're Liverpool. You know, they got BBD, like I said, Salah, all those Jota, all those players. So I don't know.
I just think Tottenham won't do good, bro. That's
It's
it.
gonna be very competitive for sure. It's gonna be a really fun.
Prime.
You know what's funny? I just looking at the transfers that happened. So Tottenham signed Sessegnon from Fulham, and now he went back to Fulham on a free. That's crazy. It's a waste of money.
I think that
Like what happened with Paul Pogba?
What? He got suspended, bro.
Yeah, but you guys sold him and then bought him back.
Oh well, I mean, I guess Fulham got him on a free. I guess.
I feel like Tottenham is purely based off of like development in the players alone, because you know the signings they've made seem just hit like boom or bust. Like Archie Gray and Solanke, if they do well, they're gonna do really well, you know. But if they don't, Tottenham are gonna be really crap, you know.
Right.
Which is why I kind of referred to them in the Chelsea argument. I feel like Chelsea are kind of in that same way with a lot of the signings they've made. If they do,
Either boom or
well,
bust.
they
It's
can really
either
elevate
do
the team.
really good or really bad. There's no in between.
Yeah, and I think
but that's
Tottenham
what I
and
mean.
Chelsea are kind of that same way.
Yeah, when you brought up Tottenham, that's why I said. I mean, I put Chelsea in at 6, so Tottenham could be right underneath. Like, I think that Ange did a good job with that Tottenham team not having much.
Yeah,
It's just I feel like it hasn't gotten any better, and I think that every other team in the Prem right now that is kicking up has gotten extremely better than where
I think
Tottenham is right now.
I think every team has gotten.
That's why it's hard to like really pinpoint where Tottenham is going to be, just because everyone got better. Villa got better, West Ham got better, and we didn't even
got better.
West Ham is still again the amount of players that
better.
West Ham brought in, they could be within that top 6. They could be contending within the 7, 8.
I was gonna try to put them up there, but I had my list already. But I think West Ham will definitely finish higher up in the table than.
And that's what I mean. There's a lot of competition this year in terms of those spots. Like on paper, there's a lot of competition on paper in terms of those spots. So it's difficult to really pinpoint like where Tottenham is going to finish. I think that above that, everything kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's just a little difficult.
I think that like with, you know, when we're talking about Tottenham and Liverpool with them not making signings, you also have to consider the factor that, you know, when we're talking about Liverpool, we're talking about Cody Gakpo, Darwin Nunez, Dominic Szoboszlai, players like that really aren't at what should be their prime, like their prime age. So they're growing into, well, I guess
They're
not
still a
really
young
for
team.
Liverpool because it's a new coach, but they're growing into playing with each other. They're growing into the system. Tottenham, they have a lot of young players like Udogie, Van de Ven, Vicario. Like these new players that they signed last season had a year to kind of gel with the team. They're signing more young guys, and you know,
it's a Chelsea situation.
Yeah, but Chelsea kind of just brought those guys in. Tottenham are kind of giving those guys more time. So I kind of trust Tottenham a little bit more, despite the fact that I put in my top 6. I wouldn't be surprised if they get top 4, honestly.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like I said, they had a good season last season. I think just be that, but just because we brought up Tottenham and because we're running a little long here, let's bring up the hot take for the season. Honestly, it could be a lot of things. And Connor, you know, we have history in the past where our hot takes have gotten really hot. And if we're looking back at those hot takes, I don't think they.
Hey, mine was right.
Hey, my shit was so wrong. My shit was so wrong.
What were you guys' takes? I'm curious.
We made predictions in the MLS. It said the Fire were going to finish top 4 in the conference. They did like second to last.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Hey, good thing there's no relegation in the MLS. But
honestly.
Yeah, and then
Connor, what was yours?
I said Nashville were going to miss the playoffs.
Oh yeah, well that's coming true.
I cooked with that one.
Yeah, but yeah, like we've had some really spicy takes on these kind of episodes. So Connor, I'll kick it off with you since you already kind of know where the direction of where we're heading with the hot takes. But
hot takes in terms of like how teams do, or like what, or
it could be any hot take,
Okay.
I I mean, I guess you kind of already heard it. I think Liverpool's still going to punch above their weight. I think they're going to challenge City. I think that Arne Slot is going to have that immediate effect on the players. I think there's still a lot of the Liverpool players are still a core, group of people. Like if you think of back from their Premier League winning team, their Champions League winning team, a lot of those core guys are the same people.
Some
Salah,
Mane, but
like Jose said, like Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Van Dijk, Allison, like that's a core similar group in the past few years, and they're still gonna have that, and they're just getting new ideas within those players as well, and I still do think City's gonna win the league because, again, like they literally have everybody and them all the money, all the talent on their bench and in their academy. I think it's just not even fair at this point. But I do think Liverpool still do bode more of a chance than people are giving them credit for.
all right, Jose, go.
Carlos, you go first. I'm still kind of debating.
Debating on where you want to go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, player-wise, I'm going to say the lift will shine again. Not that he did bad Juve, but I don't think he did the best. But I think at United, he will be that beast we remember from Ajax.
What about Bayern?
Actually, he's really solid for Bayern.
He cooked season 1, but I think last season he kind of dropped off a little bit.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I remember watching this guy, and he was linked to Barcelona for a bit, and I was excited, but he went to wherever he went.
He went to Juventus first.
I think he's a very solid center back, man. And even Ronaldo at the time wanted him to come to Madrid. I'm pretty sure when Ronaldo was at Madrid and they faced each other. He's a solid center back, so I think he's going to be an outstanding player this coming season. And team-wise, I think Arsenal, even though I put them second, I think Arsenal is going to struggle. Just because there's more pressure on them now. There's more pressure on them now to succeed. Because last season it was like, all right, you guys are close. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, okay, now you guys really have to do something, or you guys aren't considered contenders for a league title or something like that. They're not going to be taken serious. Not going to be taking a serious team if they don't prove something this coming season.
Didn't we say that last season? And then they still.
Oh, I don't know what you guys said that last season.
Well,
but
but that's what was said last season, was that they were going to have a fall off because now they have expectation, right? They got close and now they have expectation. And I mean, you could argue they bottled it at the end, but they were still contending till the very last week.
But they
were still fighting.
I think there was a game where Arsenal just completely, it was in their hands. It
was against Villa. They lost 3-0 to Villa.
They either won and they win I'm pretty sure they just crumbled. They folded.
No,
it was up to them to win the league.
They crumbled to Villa. They went to, so it was like after, I don't know if it was.
Oh wait, no,
it was after Champions League. It was midweek. They crumbled to Villa. They lost 3-0, and that was the game that kind of flipped everything on its head, where they were kind of relying on City to drop points, and City just was not dropping points. After that, because they had it for the longest time in their hands, they were up by goal difference, and that was the game where you're like, okay, like they win here, it should be just a stretch home just to finish it out. They wound up losing.
Thanks.
They wound up losing that game. So, it's just, I mean, like I said, that's what we said last season where they had that expectation. They had it. They crumbled again. And to your point, it's, can they continue battling through that, like trying to get over that hump? Whether there is or there isn't any points deductions this season or whatever, they still have to mentally get over that hump of, we're almost there. We're almost there. Like, how many almost there can you take?
It's gonna break a player, and I feel like that's what's gonna happen this coming season. Is even though I put him second, I know I put him second, but this is just for our hot takes. I just don't see Arsenal. I see Arsenal as an average team again. Second place team, not being contenders for a league title.
So you don't think they're going to be able to contend the whole season?
No, It'll happen. If they have a chance again, they'll crumble. They crumble. They choke. They're choke artists. They will crumble if given the opportunity. Because I mean, it was shown last season, the previous season before that, they crumble every single time, man. And
Oh, they had what they were top of the league by Christmas last year. They had it for a while. They were whole season until like the last month.
Well, they had points. They had a lot of points as well, and they were like, everyone was like, "Oh wow, Arsenal is finally going to win the league." What happened? They lost. It was up to them to win or lose the league, and they lost. That's my hot take.
That's a difficult. I see what you're saying. I now that you gave it a little bit more perspective, I see where you're kind of coming from with that, that point of view. But yeah, I don't know, man. That point deduction is really like it just fucks with my head. Jose, go ahead. Are you ready?
Yeah. So I mean, this is not really a hot take, but it's like I think it's something that might happen. I think Newcastle and Spurs miss out on top 6. I don't know. I'm not convinced. And I don't think this will happen. But if this does happen, it'll be because of injuries. But there might be a chance that Liverpool doesn't make top 4. Because think about it. One bad injury to Salah or VVD, a key player, like I think it'll mess up their season. Because look, they're not being ambitious in the transfer window. They're not, making signings that they need, especially in the midfield. I think they do need some signings. They were looking at a DM. I think I saw Zubimendi rejected them.
Yeah.
And I think Endo, like he's a good player, but I don't think he's that type of player to take him to the next level. And again, we don't know how Arne Slot would do good in the Premier League. I know he's a really good coach. He did really good in the Eredivisie, but those are 2 different leagues. So I think, that's a good hot take. I'd say Liverpool probably misses top 4 if due to injuries. But, I mean, knowing how good of longevity Salah has and DVD, it'll probably be very, kind of rare for them to get injured, a long-term injury. I know VVD got the ACL injury, but ever since then he's been good. No other injuries have happened to him. So, I'd say if some of their key players do get injured, I think Liverpool will miss out on top 4.
All right, y'all ready for mine?
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Wait,
y'all might walk away.
Wait. Let me get ready. Hold on. Let me get ready.
Y'all might end up like walking out.
All right, go for it, bro.
It can't be worse than the Chicago one.
I think all 4 teams in the top 4 will be in contention for the title. Okay. I think that the title race will be a lot closer than what it has been these past couple of years. I say that because I feel like there's a lot of teams that can take points away from a lot of teams. Like who's it is. Top 4 again? I had United, Villa, Arsenal, and I had City, and then Arsenal.
I'm sorry, Bar. United does not contend for the title, bro. I'm sorry.
We were contending last year at some point. I don't know how the fuck we were contending. What? It was like Christmas time. We were in the mix.
I never remember United being up there.
We were in the mix for a week.
I can see that being true only if your theory does come to fruition of Manchester City getting a points deduction.
But that's where I was getting at. The points deduction, I think that is going to close the gap to where
I think that'd be the only way, though.
But again, it's hot take. I don't
think United even make it past 5th, bro.
No, I think we comfortably get 4th. But let me explain why I'm talking about the title race and being that close. Because there's a lot of other teams that throughout this season, I don't think that we're gonna see a Premier League season where we like last year we had Arsenal lost 5 games, City lost 3. I think that and obviously Villa lost 10. If it's not Liverpool, Arsenal, and City, everyone else lost double-digit games. I think the games are going to be a lot closer this season because there's so much talent spread out throughout the league now in terms of every other team between like the top 10 even teams. It's going to be difficult to continue getting those points. So I don't see a title race where it's just 2 people. I think it'll be for a while within that top 4. Maybe the last couple months at the end, it starts pushing where it gets like the 3 teams at the end. But I honestly do feel like the title race is going to be a lot closer than what it has been the past couple of years. And that's just because, like I said, The points deduction included. The just how balanced out the league is now with the other teams outside.
Say the point deduction doesn't happen, then what?
Well, again, that's just my hot take.
It's not going to happen.
I still feel like something's gonna happen with that. I
don't think it'll be that big. Well,
I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be a little slap on the wrist.
Just because City are so big, dude. Like
I get
Everton,
that they're big.
The Premier League.
You don't think that they want to use them as an example, though?
No, they'll use someone smaller like Everton.
Well, yeah.
I don't think
they
cares
did.
about
they did.
Everton. I don't think the Brem cares about Everton.
They did, but then think about it. Think about it. If you're a team like Newcastle that has the money, like Newcastle does, and City just get a slap on the, you're not gonna go do the same shit.
They are, and they will, and they'll do fine because once revenue starts coming in from them, they'll be okay.
But that's the thing though. Like, it's just difficult for me to not see them use City as someone that's gonna like. I know there was a lot of there was talk about it getting political and that you know just because they don't want to mess with the political landscape between England and the state-owned clubs and stuff like that. I think something's gonna be an example of what you shouldn't do. City might end up being that, and I don't see him winning the title. It's gonna be a lot closer. That's just my opinion on it, honestly.
John, if United sack Ten Hag and you guys get a different manager, a better manager, I can, who knows?
I don't see another manager than that.
I don't see another manager though.
Yeah, with Ten Hag, dude, I don't know, man. I think your guys' cap is fifth.
He's gotten close. Like the last couple of years. I mean, he's been.
And then he clutches up. Yeah. He's like, he said, "Let me lock in real quick."
He clutched up for the cup, and you guys were gonna miss out on European football. So
yeah, it's just,
dude, I don't know. That's with Ten Hag. I don't know. Like, you guys have a good squad, yeah, but with Ten Hag, I don't know.
All right. Well, that has been our hot takes, man. I don't know. It's running kind of long. I don't want to make it run too long because it's already like what? This is plus 16, plus 90 minutes right now.
What time is it there for you, Connor?
He's an hour ahead. It's midnight.
Yeah.
All right, but anyways, we're gonna wrap that up. This has been our Premier League predictions. If you guys liked the video, I know it's gonna be a long one, but if you guys stuck around, thank you so much. We appreciate it. But at the end of the day, if you guys want more shows like this, I'm constantly doing stuff like this all the time. So let us know, and we'll talk a little bit more about other leagues and stuff like that, and shit going around across the world of football.
Everyone, comment a La Liga one so I can cook.
All right, but it's been good. We'll see you guys soon.
Bundesliga.
Peace.